Welcome to an addict's journey. Now, it seems kind of like a very heavy title, and this isn't really for the listeners, this is more for myself personally. But basically, this is what it's going to be, it's going to be kind of like a journal entry on a weekly basis for my way through recovering from a series of addictions. Now, I won't be using any real names, obviously, because all of these events are true, and I don't want us to reflect on any of the people involved. So, my name is David. I'm 23 years old, and I am a recovering cocaine and Percocet addict. So, now that that's out of the way, I guess I could start by discussing how it started. A couple years ago, I was working door-to-door sales in one of the summers in between college. I used to be an engineering student. And while I was working, we had this tradition. We would get paid in cash on Friday nights, which should give you some red flags about the business we were working for to begin with. But we would get paid in cash on Friday nights, and we'd all go to a bar. And the person who made the most sales during that week was given 3 free lines of cocaine, or blow, snow. There's a bunch of different names for it, but we'll probably refer to it as coke for the rest of the podcast. So, with that out of the way, I, one week, had made the most sales. Not very many, maybe like 8. Which was actually fairly impressive considering most of the time people just slam the door in your face, when with good reason. Who really wants to deal with that? So that was how I was introduced to cocaine. Typically people say marijuana is the gateway drug. People typically believe that it's easier to get addicted to a softer substance than move to a harder substance, but for me, with no prior experience, I mean, I had drank before, but it was amazing. And at first it wasn't a problem. At first it was kind of just a thing you did while you were out, maybe once every couple weeks. And then I got to the summer. See, what happened with me was I ended up moving in with my dad. And when that happened, we had an apartment. We had an apartment on the lakefront. And he would spend most of the time living with his girlfriend, while I was basically had a lakeshore apartment to myself. That led to some interesting temptations. I come from a very affluent family. We never really had to worry about things like money, so poor wasn't really a concept for me, and I had a little bit of a spending issue. But having access to this apartment meant I could throw parties. And it's the kind of people I knew were the kind of people who would bring drugs to the parties, like Molly, cocaine, acid on occasion. It was an experience. It was definitely an experience, and that's really how all of this started. Percocet came later. It kind of turned things into overdrive. That's when the real addiction started coming out.